Welcome! Bienvenidos a Spanish with Profe. In this channel, we will learn Spanish. En este canal, vamos a aprender español. I will be your professor. I am a native speaker of Spanish, and I hold a PhD in Spanish from the University of California. I have been teaching Spanish at the university level for over 20 years. Feel free to leave your comments below with any questions about learning Spanish and any video topics you would like me to cover. Don't forget to smash the like button, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for future videos. It helps with the YouTube algorithm. Muchas gracias. In this video, we're going to talk about indirect object pronouns and the verb dar and decir. ¿Listos, chicos? Ready? Vamos a comenzar. Let's begin. In this video, we're going to talk about indirect object pronouns. And we are also going to learn how to conjugate the verb dar and decir, which will use the indirect object pronouns. In Spanish, the indirect object pronouns are as follows. Me, te, le, nos, and les. Me for me, te for you, le for él, for ella, o for usted. Nos for us. Les for them. And you all. Muy bien. The indirect object pronoun answers for whom or to whom something is being done. So in Spanish, the placement of the indirect object pronoun will be different than in English. For example, you give me a book. You give a book to me. En español es, tú me das un libro. Tú me das un libro. And for emphasis, we can say, tú me das un libro a mí. A mí. In this lesson, we're also going to learn that the preposition a plus yo becomes mi. M-I with a tilde, mi. And the preposition a plus tu, that will change to a ti. A ti, a and then ti. But a plus él, a plus ella, a plus usted stays the same. Or a plus nosotros stay the same. A plus ellos, a plus ellas, a plus ellos. Muy bien. There's no change, but only in a mí. A ti. Keep those in mind, por favor. So let's begin. So the indirect object pronoun will be placed in front of the verb. So me, te, le, nos, les. And remember that in the indirect object pronouns, the indirect object pronouns only refer to people. Keep this in mind because we're going to learn something else in another chapter coming up. So, me, te, le, nos, les refers to people only, and they will be in front of the verb. So, let's begin. Vamos a ver. Yo le compro un abrigo a Juan. I buy a sweater for Juan. Yo le compro un abrigo a Juan. If you notice, le is referring to Juan. So in Spanish, it's okay to have the indirect object pronoun in front of the verb And then it can have the person to whom it's referring to. Yo le compro un abrigo a Juan. Tú me compras un abrigo a mí. Tú me compras un abrigo a mí. Mis padres me compran un abrigo a mí. Mis amigos me compran un abrigo a mí. Ellos te compran un abrigo a ti. Ella te compra un abrigo a ti. Nosotros te compramos un abrigo a ti. Okay? So the indirect object pronoun me, te, le, nos, les answers to whom or for whom the action is being done. Keep that in mind. If you notice, in Spanish, you're always going to see the person preceded by the a means that it's the person not doing the action. So it's yo le compro un abrigo a Juan. Yo le compro un abrigo a Juan. So subject yo, indirect le, verb comprar, compro. What do I buy? A coat. Un abrigo. For whom do I buy? For Juan. So, a Juan. Yo le compro un abrigo a Juan. Muy bien. In Spanish, we're going to learn the verb dar. Dar means to give. And dar is an irregular verb in the yo form, and then it will follow a pattern of the AR ending. So, yo doy, tú das. Yo doy, D-O-Y. Tú das. If you notice, we drop in the dar, we drop the AR, and then you just go with the AR endings. So, tú das, él da, ella da, usted da. Nosotros damos. Ellos dan, ellas dan, ustedes dan. So das, to give. So, yo te doy un chocolate. Yo te doy un chocolate. The verb dar requires the indirect object pronoun because you are giving something to somebody. Yo te doy un chocolate. Tú me das un chocolate. You give a chocolate to me. Yo le doy un chocolate a ella. Ella me da un chocolate a mí. Ella me da un chocolate a mí. Nosotros te damos un chocolate. Nosotros te damos un chocolate. Ellos te dan un chocolate. Ellos me dan un chocolate. Remember that the indirect object pronoun you're going to be able to identify it by looking for the a. The a denotes a person. So, a mí, a ti, a él, a ella, a usted, a nosotros, a ellos, a ellas, a ustedes. Look for the a. And if you notice, it's the one, it's going to be the person far away from the beginning of the sentence. A. Okay? Muy bien. And now we're going to talk about the verb decir. Decir is an irregular verb that will also require the use of the indirect object pronoun me, te, le, nos, les, because we tell something or we say something to somebody. And decir is going to do two things. Decir is both an irregular verb in the yo form and a stem changing for the other ones. So let's begin. Yo digo. Yo digo. Tú dices. Tú dices. Él dice. Ella dice. Usted dice. Remember, nosotros does not stem change. Nosotros decimos. Nosotros decimos. This is the present tense. Nosotros decimos. And then, now we're going to stem change. Ellos dicen, ellas dicen, ustedes dicen. So if you notice, decir is two things. It's an irregular verb in the yo form, yo digo, and it's a stem change for the other ones, tú, él, ella, usted, ellos, ellas, ustedes, but it will not stem change for nosotros. If you want to remember the other lesson about stem changing verbs, please check out this other video. Gracias. Okay, so yo te digo la verdad. Yo te digo la verdad. Tú no me dices la verdad. Tú no me dices la verdad. Ella me dice la verdad. Ella me dice la verdad. Nosotros no les decimos la verdad. Nosotros no les decimos la verdad a ellos. Ellos no nos dicen la verdad a nosotros. Ellos no nos dicen la verdad a nosotros. Muy bien. Entonces recuerden que en español, the indirect object pronoun always comes before the verb. And it's me, te, le, nos, les. You're going to be able to identify that in a sentence. You're going to replace the person, a Juan, a John, a Mary, with a me, te, le, nos, les. Remember, it's a mí, that will become me. A ti, that will become te. A él becomes le. A ella becomes le. And anytime you see one name, John becomes le. A nosotros becomes nos. A ellos becomes les. A ellas becomes les. And ustedes becomes les. Or if you see John and Mary, les. Okay, they always come before the verb. And remember, if it's negative, you're going to say, yo no les digo la verdad. Yo no les digo la verdad. And sometimes for emphasis, I will say, yo no les digo la verdad a ellos. But you don't have to put a ellos back, but you're able to if you want to, for clarification. Bueno, chicos, recuerden que indirect object pronouns answer to whom or for whom something is being done, and they're always going to come before the verb, and they always represent people. Me, te, le, nos, les represent people. Look for the a and then the person and replace that by me, te, le, nos, les. And remember that the verb dar is an irregular, only in the yo form, so doy, and then the rest follow a pattern. Tú das, él da, ella da, usted da, nosotros damos, ellos dan, ellas dan, ustedes dan. And dar will require you to use the indirect object pronoun. And the same thing for decir, which is also an irregular verb in the yo form. Yo digo, and then it's the same change for yo, tú, él, ella, usted, ellos, ellas, ustedes. So it's yo digo, tú dices, él dice, and then no same change for nosotros. Nosotros decimos, ellos dicen. Bueno, chicos, muchas gracias y smash the like button. ¡Hasta pronto! ¡Chao!